Fox 2 News. News that works for you. Starts now.
Tensions erupt outside the courthouse at the Kwame Kilpatrick corruption trial.
Bobby Ferguson's attorney, Mike Rataj, lashing out as he answered questions from reporters.
His target, Fox 2's ML Elrick. ML joins us now live with what led up to the confrontation. ML.
Well, Huel, we had a big day in court today. Closing arguments for Bernard Kilpatrick and Bobby Ferguson. There was a lot of talk about the government being out to get these men. There was a lot of talk about minority preferences. There was a lot of talk about the diversity of the jury. And then there was a lot of talk about the government and just people in general being out to get these men. So I asked Mike Rataj whether race was a factor in this case. I think it's safe to say it's a question he didn't appreciate.
I can't speak for Gerald, but I mean, you know, we put our heart and soul into this case, and we believe in what we're doing. And the words that he quoted from Martin Luther King are apropos, just like his reference to the jurors to be a profile in courage, because they have to resist all the outside pressures that are out there and that have been brewing in this town for 5, 6, 7, 8 years. So, you know, I mean, that's the bottom line. I mean, you know, the bottom line is you just saw a brilliant lawyer, okay, leave his heart and soul out on the table, and it's not easy to do.
Did you notice is the government racist? Is that what you're saying?
Did I say anything like that?
That's why I asked the question.
Are you ignorant?
That's why I asked the question.
Are you ignorant?
That's why I asked the question.
You're an ignorant moron.
Mike, just answer. Be a man. Quit being such a man.
Be a man? You're going to question me about being a man?
You turn around and you walk away.
You're going to challenge me to be a man?
You've got the last word.
You're a punk. I asked you to meet me one time.
And you didn't show up.
Bullshit, I didn't.
Asked your client.
Want to bet? You think he's going to pin me out? Okay.
He did then.
Bullshit. He didn't tell you exactly what the deal was because you go running and crying. Let me tell you something. You want to go right now? Okay? You want to go right now, Elrick?
Yeah.
You're going to challenge me? You're going to challenge me?
I'm giving you the last word.
You're going to challenge me? Are you going to? What's my? What last word do you want? You piece of garbage.
I'm giving it to you. I'm not putting words in your mouth. I'm asking you to clarify a statement you made. You have the opportunity right now.
Did I call anybody a racist?
I didn't say
you did. Did I call anybody a racist?
I did not say you did. Counselor, you asked interrogative questions.
Get your finger out of my face. Get your finger out of my face.
Take the first shot then if you want it, Counselor.
Get your finger out of my face.
It's gone. It's just my face here. I asked you if you'd like to say something on that.
Did you just say I said somebody was a racist?
I asked you, are you saying? I asked you, are you saying? It gives you an opportunity to answer and put it in your own words. I asked you, are you saying that the government is racist? There's race in this case. You have an opportunity to respond.
Because I'm giving you that opportunity. Because of Mr. Evelyn's quoting Martin Luther King, that somehow implies that the government's racist? Are you that ignorant?
No, I just asked you if you'd like to say something. Wow. Something else. Well, you know, they send us out here to ask questions. Sometimes people don't want to answer them. We're just trying to do our job. For the record, I like Mike Rataj. I think he's a good attorney. Maybe he wound a little tight, but he's trying to do his job. So are we. And helping us with that job today is Charlie Langton, who was in the courtroom with me. Charlie, what happened in the courtroom today?
Well, just remember it's Valentine's Day, okay? So just be careful about that. Listen, to Bobby Ferguson's credit, one of the big themes in this case is that when Kwame Kilpatrick became mayor, he wanted to do something for the city of Detroit, like get minority contracts in this city. And to Bobby Ferguson's credit, he did that. That was a very common theme spread throughout Gerald Evelyn's closing argument. He represents Bobby Ferguson. And Bobby Ferguson, not only did he give jobs to Detroiters, he gave jobs to minorities, and Bobby Ferguson paid his taxes. Now, that could go very well with this jury, which just, while we're talking about it, is 50-50. It'll be 6 minorities, 6 white people. So race is a factor, but honestly, I thought the closing argument today by Gerald Evelyn, Bobby Ferguson's attorney, specifically took every single contract and kind of nailed it. A little minutia, a little hard to understand, but it certainly gives the jury something to talk about. And earlier in the day, ML, John Shea, who represents Bernard Kilpatrick, said that there was no evidence in this record at all that Bernard used the fact that his son was the mayor for any favors whatsoever. Overall, pretty good day for the defense.
Yes, and we're still standing strong in the streets of Detroit, trying to get answers for you. We'll be back tomorrow for the government's rebuttal. In the meantime, back to you guys in the studio.
Well, before you go, you know, race is not mentioned directly, but it's always the subtext of a trial like this. 3 black men on trial, several members of the jury also black. It was a legitimate question, ML. Were you surprised you didn't get an answer?
Well, I think Mike Rataj, who also defends Bobby Ferguson, holds Gerald Evelyn in very high regard. And I think when I look at this, he wanted the last comment to be, Gerald Evelyn did a great job. Now, Mr. Evelyn did talk about the government being criminally negligent by bringing these charges against these defendants. There was a lot of talk throughout this trial about whether people would be offended by strong racial language, how people felt about affirmative action. So race has been a part of this from the opening statements to the closing arguments. Mr. Rataj said that there's been something going on in this city for the last 5, 6, 7 years. I simply wanted him to explain what he meant by that. Again, I think the video speaks for itself. He didn't dig that, but I'm sorry. We ask tough questions. We hope people get answers, and we hope that they act professionally as we try and do.
Absolutely, and we are going to discuss this on Let It Rip tonight. ML, we know we're going to see you there. We have invited Attorney Mike Rataj to be there as well, and hopefully we'll all be able to sit down and hash it out. Thank you, guys.